Hello students, welcome to the course on basic electronics engineering and the course code is EC101. This is the course for BTech first semester CSE IT and FT students and second semester ECE students. Myself Dr. Shurojit Bachak, Assistant Professor of ECE Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata. And this is my official email address. Today, we are going to start about lecture number 6 from the 5th module, feedback and operational amplifier. In the last class, we have discussed on basic introduction of operational amplifier, block diagram representations of op-amp, pin configuration, ideal op-amp characteristics, and concept of CMRR. Now today we are going to discuss about equivalent circuit of ideal as well as practical op-amp and some non-ideal characteristics of op-amp like offset voltage, bias current, offset current, slew rate, and at last the configuration of inverting amplifier. What is the gain of inverting amplifier? Calculation of voltage gain for inverting amplifier. And the lesson objective of this topic, which is learn how operational amplifiers are modeled and analyzed and to design op-amp circuits to perform operations such as integration, differentiation on electronic signals. And this topic is mapped with CO number 2. So let us start lecture number 6 from the 5th module, feedback and operational amplifiers, with the topic of equivalent circuit of op-amp. So first one, this is the circuit of an ideal op-amp, whereas the second configuration is the circuit of an practical op-amp circuit. In the first circuit, Ri is the input resistance between the two input terminals, and which is the value of input resistance is very high, and the output voltage is obtained by multiplying the amplifier gain A by the difference input signal Vd, which is equal to Vid, which is equal to V1 minus V2, and which is taken through the resistance R0, which is typically very low. The gain A is typically very high, and for the difference signal, it is the voltage gain. And this circuit is the practical op-amp circuit Vd, where input resistance is almost negligible. This is the open loop characteristics of op-amp. It shows the plot of the output voltage V0. Again, the difference input signal voltage, say Vd or Vp, whatever. and this is some parameters of op-amp which are very important and needs to be discussed here. First one is the offset error voltage and current. It is desired that the DC voltage at the output of ideal op-amp is 0. For equal input voltages, say VI1 and VI2, an ideal op-amp is perfectly balanced. That means V0 should be 0 for VI1 equal to VI2. But in practice or in practical, because of unequal amount of current drawn by the input transistors of the first differential amplifier due to imbalance in the circuit caused by the mismatch of the built-in transistors following the inverting and the non-inverting terminals, the output voltage will not be 0. So this is called the offset error voltage. Next is the input offset voltage. Now input offset voltage is the voltage that must be applied between the two input terminals of an op-amp to nullify the output or to get a 0 output. That is called input offset voltage. Next is the input offset current. Input offset current is the difference. See in the figure, input offset current is the difference between the currents into the inverting and non-inverting input terminals of a balanced amplifier. So the mathematically input offset current is represented as, say, I0, input offset current, which is equal to IB1 minus IB2, where IB1 and IB2 are the currents for non-inverting and inverting input terminals. See in the figure. And when V0, that is the output voltage, is 0. So improvement of matching between input terminals reduces this value, and it depends on improvement of technology. Next is input bias current. Input bias current is the average of the input currents that flow into the inverting and non-inverting input terminals of an op-amp. So it is the algebraic just average of the input currents. So IB is represented as IB1 plus IB2 by 2 when V0 output voltage is 0. Next is the output offset voltage. Output offset voltage, say V00, is the voltage, see in this figure, is the voltage at the output terminals when the two input terminals are grounded. So that output voltage is called the output offset voltage. Next is the gain. Although ideal op-amp has infinite open loop gain, but in practical op-amps have open loop gain that vary considerably according to the type of op-amp used. If V1 is the input and V2 is the output voltage of an op-amp, then the gain in dB decibel is represented as 20 log 10 V2 by V1. In that way, we can determine the gain. And next is the very important term, which is slew rate. Now, the slew rate of an op-amp is defined as the maximum rate at which its output voltage can vary. Again, I am repeating that maximum rate at which its output voltage can vary. So it is represented as dV0 by dt, and it is expressed in volt per microsecond. The unit of op-amp is volt per microsecond. Thus, the maximum permissible output voltage of the op-amp when a signal at a particular frequency is applied at its input is determined by slew rate. And if we try to increase the output voltage even more than the maximum permissible value, the signal waveform gets distorted. See the distorted output waveform. Therefore, the slew rate can also be used to determine the maximum operating frequency of the op-amp, which is as follows. Say F max is the maximum operating frequency, which equal to, it is a ratio of slew rate by 2 pi into V peak, where V peak represents as the maximum or peak value of the input applied voltage. So it is very important expression, and it is required for some numerical problem. Next, we move for an amplifier conversion configuration. Remember that we know that in op-amp there are two types of input terminals are present. One is called inverting, another is negative terminal, or pin number 2 is called the inverting input terminal, and positive terminal, that is pin number 3, is called the non-inverting input terminal. Now, there are two types of amplifier are present. One is called inverting amplifier and other is called non-inverting amplifier. What is inverting amplifier? Remember that for the inverting amplifier, we just apply the voltage in the inverting input terminal, and the non-inverting input terminal is grounded. But for non-inverting amplifier, we just apply the voltage at the non-inverting input terminal, just voltage is shifted. For the case of non-inverting amplifier, we just apply the voltage at the non-inverting input terminal, and inverting terminal is grounded. Now, let us first concentrate on inverting amplifier. So, the source voltage Vs is connected in series with a resistance R1 at the inverting input terminal of the op-amp. A feedback resistor RF is connected between the output and the inverting input terminal. And these types of connection provides a, remember that it is a negative feedback, causing a decrease in the output signal as any increase of in the output signal results in a feedback signal into the inverting input. So the feedback type is negative feedback. If the feedback is positive feedback, then it is called, actually it is used in oscillator. And this configuration is like a voltage shunt feedback amplifier. Already I discussed in the section of feedback amplifier. And obviously the non-inverting input terminal is connected to ground. Now, the input and output voltages are Vs and V0. Let Vd be the voltage at the inverting input terminal. As the open loop gain A of the op-amp is very high, because it actually reflects the characteristics for an ideal op-amp, and the output voltage V0 is finite due to negative feedback. We have Vd equal to V0 by A, which tends to 0 as A tends to infinity. Therefore, inverting input terminal is practically at ground potential. Thus, though the point D is not actually grounded or actually connected to ground, point D is actually not connected to ground, it is held virtually at ground potential independent of the magnitude of Vs and V0. So so point D is called basically the virtual ground. Now the question is, what is the difference between actual ground and virtual ground? When a terminal is actually grounded, any amount of current can flow to ground through the terminal, say the non-inverting input terminal. Thus, actual ground serves as a sink node for infinite current. But no current can flow into the op-amp through the virtual ground, as the input impedance of the op-amp is infinite. So this is one of the characteristics of an ideal op-amp. So a virtual ground cannot serve as a sink for current. So since the point D is at virtual ground, so we can say that ID is 0, and similarly say Vd is 0. Now ID is basically I plus IF. See the expression. Since point B is virtual ground, ID equal to 0 and Vd again is 0. So we know that, see, the from ID equal to I plus IF. Now ID equal to 0, we know that. So we can say that I equal to minus IF. Now apply KCL at point D. So which is say Vs minus Vd by R1 equal to Vd minus V0 by Rf. See, which is Vs minus Vd by R1 equal to Vd minus V0 by Rf. So we know that Vd voltage at point D is 0 due to virtual ground. So we can write that Vs by R1 equal to V minus Vd is 0, say minus V0 by Rf. Now the voltage gain of inverting amplifier is actually V0 by Vs. So the voltage gain is V0 by Vs is minus Rf by R1. Remember that voltage gain for inverting amplifier is minus Rf by R1. Now the question is why this negative sign comes? What is the physical significance of this negative sign in the final expression of voltage gain? Actually, this negative sign in the gain expression indicates that the input and output signal are out of phase by 180 degree. So that is why here in the inverting input terminal, that is negative terminal, is called the inverting input terminal, which is the input signal is 180 degree shifted at the output signal. Okay. So this is all about the inverting amplifier. And the next class we will discuss about non-inverting amplifier. So let us stop here. Thank you. And thank you so much. I am ending the session.